Hello everyone. Today we are going to do a video on bar charts and how we can use Jamovi to make them, utilize them in our class. Okay, so the first thing that we need to do is just look at our data. So it says the following survey was given to individuals attempting to determine their political affiliation. Okay, so if we just look at the data, all we get is this like political affiliation code, and that's not useful unless if we have our definition. So for the code 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, this is a Likert scale, and we go from extremely liberal to moderate to conservative to extremely conservative. Okay, so let's move our data over. And let's label this as political affiliation. And remember, no spaces here, so just political affiliation. And then I'm going to change my levels because this is ordinal data. It's text. And we're going to take our 1, move it up here, take our 2, move it up to there. And now I go 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that gets our orders all set correctly. And let's go take a look at our question. So first of all, well, we already answered this one. What type of data is this? This is categorical data that is ordinal because it has some natural order to it. Because we put it onto a Likert scale, we went from smallest to largest, and so it's got some order to it. Okay, so the next thing that we need to do is just we need to create a bar chart or in order to be able to determine which of these four is the correct one. All right, so when we want to do a bar chart, we can go back to exploration and go to our descriptives. And we are going to, again, remove our summary statistics. We don't need them right now. But what we are going to look at is we're going to look at our plots. And we are going to do a bar plot. So we're going to go ahead, take political affiliation, move it over to our variables, and go ahead and click on bar plot. And once we do that, we are rewarded with our plot. And so we have political affiliation. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is from extremely liberal to extremely conservative, since we have our legend over here. And now we just need to figure out which of these ones look like, just, match it. So not this guy, not this guy, not this guy, but this guy looks very good. Okay, so the one difference that you might notice between these is the y axis. And you'll see this happen sometimes. But the shape is identical between the two. So what's going on here? Well, the shape or the y-axis over here for the bar plot that we made in Jamovi is actually just the raw counts. How many people selected that they were extremely liberal, how many people selected that they were extremely conservative, and over here we have the relative frequency, we have the percentages. And so if we were to go in and we were actually to take the count and divide by the total, we could actually get those counts. Let's go ahead and see how we can do that real quick if we actually wanted to see it. So let's go actually to the statistics and let's go do our sample size. Let's look at n. And so we have the political affiliation. Let's see about getting just a frequency table as well. Okay, so here we can actually see that we can grab these. So if we look at 1, it's at 15.9% of total, and we look at right here, and it is 15.9% of total. Anyhow, so that is how we can use Jamovi in order to build this bar chart. Okay, and then it asks, okay, which frequency table is most appropriate? All right, so we need to look at which of these guys are good, and we can match our numbers up, and that's all good and everything, but the real question kind of comes down to, it's like, okay, do we want like our cumulative frequency and our cumulative relative frequency? Does it make sense at all? Now, with ordinal data, cumulative relative frequency actually makes sense because we can ask questions like what percentage of people were like liberal or extremely liberal, right? That we can say we can group those two things together. If we did that, that would be 40% right here. That the 40% said that they were liberal or extremely liberal. And so these cumulative percentages actually make sense when we're dealing with ordinal data. And so that's why we actually want to grab this one, where it also has the cumulative frequency. Now, if you look over here, we don't actually have the cumulative frequency, and Jamovi in its natural kind of basic state doesn't give that to us, but it's easy to do. All you do is you add up the counts. So like from 2 If we wanted the cumulative frequency of 2, we'd add up 143 and 220 and give us 363 like we see over here. Anyhow, so that's how we can grab our frequency tables and our bar plots in order to help us out with these type of graphics. Anyways, hope that you can use Jamovi in the future to do this for yourself.